On the 21st of January, it was reported that 25% of COVID prosecutions had been withdrawn because police misused the rules or because people had in fact done nothing wrong. Surprise, surprise. The article in the Daily Fail said that police had to apologise to hundreds of people who they had wrongly arrested and charged. Although, as far as I'm aware, the arrestable offence under COVID regulations is for failing to give your details in order to avoid a fixed penalty notice. Whereas we've seen many people actually arrested for simply being in attendance of protests, house parties, raves and family gatherings. Something I've mentioned before about the police's powers and the abuse of them by arresting people for breaching COVID regulations. They say that the most common COVID prosecutions were for people spitting or coughing at police. Of course, spitting is a filthy habit and no one should be spitting at anyone, but coughing could simply have been just that, a cough. Although I'm in no doubt some people purposely went out of their way to forcefully cough in a cop's face. However, there were plenty of miscarriages of justice due to police failing to apply the law properly and unfairly targeting the public. 1,137 charges were specifically for breaking coronavirus regulations, the Crown prosecution said, but some 286 of these prosecutions were withdrawn or set aside after alleged rule breakers were wrongly charged, with some victims having to go to court before their cases collapsed. I told you, never accept the penalty and pay. Always take it to court. Unless, of course, you know for a fact you haven't got a leg to stand on, because in the majority of cases, police have used the wrong legislation to charge people or they've done nothing wrong at all. Crown Prosecution Service's Director of Legal Services, Gregor McGill, said, "I am confident the measures we have put in place will enhance the consistency of charging decisions across the country and ensure a fair criminal justice response for all as we adjust to these challenging times." Martin Hewitt, National Police Chief Council Chairperson, said, "We apologise for the mistakes, but all parties have worked hard to manage this new legislation as effectively as they can and to keep the public safe." But there is no buts. The police wouldn't accept a "sorry, I didn't know" or "but I'm going for my exercise" from the public. So why should we accept the "but we're trying our best" from the police? Other alleged COVID offences that have taken place during the lockdown over the past 10 months or so are said to have included public order offences, criminal damage and common assault offences, where the police and CPS have worsened the charges by adding the aggravated factor of breaking COVID rules. Yes, folks, breaking COVID rules is also an aggravating factor for non-COVID related issues, meaning that with the aggravating factor, the sentencing will be harsher. Overall, 2,106 people were prosecuted for 6,469 coronavirus-related offences, with a conviction rate of 90%, say the CPS. That data includes the number of wrongful prosecutions. The CPS added that 286 had been withdrawn or set aside as of October. One incident the police were called to and issued penalty notices for was a house party in Dartford. After breaking the party of 3 men and 3 women up, police were later called back to find the women hiding in cupboards. Now, how many times do I have to say it? Ignore the door. Do not answer it. Keep your curtains closed and for fuck's sake stop letting police in your house. They have no powers to make entry, so stop letting them in. So to recap, stop engaging with the police. You are only going to give them what they need to issue you with penalty notice. There is nothing in the law that says you have to speak to the police, barring very few situations such as being arrested or under terrorism or Section 50 of the Police Reform Act, or for such things as driving with the police using Section 164 or 165 of the Road Traffic Act. Police stopping you in the street and asking you where you're going or what you're doing is called a stop and account. The police themselves say on their websites that you are under no obligation to engage with the police in these scenarios, and that if you simply walk away, the police cannot do anything about it unless they reasonably suspect that you have committed an offence or may have something on you that you shouldn't. In other words, they can't then stop you arbitrarily to search you for ID. The police, under the COVID regulations, can only arrest you for failing to give your details in order to avoid a penalty notice, and not for simply being somewhere or failing to engage with them. And stop answering your damn door and letting them in. Big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.